Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to continue our lesson on introduction to the use of R and RStudio. We said that R is the software, it's the engine itself. RStudio is the interface. RStudio is an IDE, integrated development environment. So RStudio can be used not only in R, it can also be used as an IDE for Python. Okay, so uh, you have here four window panes. You have here the script window or the source window. You have the environment on the lower bottom. You have the console, upper right, and files. Now these files can be repositioned. These window panes can be repositioned. So how do you do that? One way is to go to Tools, the Tools tab here, Tools, and then Global Options. Okay, and then this dialog box will appear. On the ear here, you have General. Okay, under General, you have your R version. So mine is 4.3.2, so it's not yet updated. In your case, could you kindly chat in the chat box what's the version of R that you have? Yung attendance later na lang, ha? Okay, 4.4. Thank you, Michael. Okay, good. So since most of you just installed R or downloaded RStudio, R 4.4 pa yan, no? So those of you who were my former students, kung 4.3 pa lang yan, i-update nyo na, no? To 4.4. Okay, good. Thank you so much. So here, you have code, you have console, okay, you have appearance and pane layout. So let's go to pane layout, and you can see here the positions of my panes, window panes currently. So in your case, the environment is here. So let me reposition that. Now, there's a reason why, personally, this is a personal choice. I want the console to be on the upper right. And you'll see that in a while. No? Kasi when we run codes here in the source window, uh, the results will be printed in the console. So when the console is below, sometimes it's difficult to look at the outputs, no, sa console. So ang preference ko talaga, the console should be on the upper right. But then again, this is just a personal choice. You may wish to just maintain the console in the lower left portion. So in order to change, if you want to change it, just go to this place where you want the console to be, and then click this drop down list here, and then click what you want to be on the upper right. So console, click that, and automatically what was here will be repositioned with the console which was here a while ago. Okay, so that's very easy. You can now that's you can uh, this is now the position of my window panes, and then okay. Then also, by the way, before I click OK, I want the appearance to change. Okay, appearance here. The default should be Chrome. Yeah. So this is the Chrome. If I click OK, so this most probably is the color of your interface. I For me it's not so good on my eyes, so that's why my preference is, again, go to Tools, Global Options, and then Appearance. I prefer this, which is cooler to my eyes, Cobalt. Okay, and the contrast is a lot easier for me. So okay, so there. Okay, you can of course experiment with the other themes, the other appearance tabs. All right, so okay, any questions so far? Okay, I hope you have settled down with the type of appearance that you wish. It's something that's personal, something that you'll have to choose for your own, kasi you'll be working with R for the next for the next weeks. No? Okay, so now when we work with R, it's best that we work through projects. So what's a project? A project is actually a folder where your files are organized. So for example, one of our first topic is Introduction to Financial Analytics. So we can now let's now create a folder that represents a project for Introduction to financial analytics. So let's think of it this way. Let's create a folder where we can name it financial analytics for your subject. And inside that folder, we can have subfolders for our topics, say introduction, and then let's say uh, portfolio optimization, say real options, okay, etc. Okay, so we can have several folders inside that. The advantage of creating projects in R is that whenever you're working on that specific project, and then if you're opening a new file, automatically it gets saved there in that R project. Okay. And if there's power outage, for example, it's automatically saved there. So you will not worry that what you have been working on will get lost. Okay. I'm sure you have experienced that you're working on Excel and then you did not save it, and then there's power outage, and you'll be lucky if you'll be able to get that file. No? If not, if you didn't save it, then it most probably will get lost forever. Okay, not in R if you're working on a project. So let's do this. So this is now your interface. How do you now create a project? So let's go here to File, and then here, New Project. All right, then this means that I will have to close this first. Okay, I'm going to save this. Okay, now I have a new, okay, I'll close this. Okay, new directory. Notice that this is a project that I'm working on, Intro to Financial Analytics. Okay, I'll open a new project just to illustrate how we do this. So new directory, new project. Okay, then let's call the new project, let's first call it Finlits. This is your subject. And then we have to find all right. Then I'm going to create it here in my desktop. I'll just create a new folder. I'll just call it trial. Okay. 000 trial, just for me to easily find this. Trial. Okay, you name it financial analytics. Okay, open. Okay. So notice it now opened this. I'm referring to this folder in my desktop. Okay, to house my directory for financial analytics. Open. All right. So this is the directory name, Finlits, and then it's in my desktop. The name of the folder is 00 trial. Okay, and then I would like to open a new session. Okay, and then create project, and let's see what happens. Okay, so you can see here now the new project. The new project is called Finlits. Okay, and you can see here that in the files window pane, you have here that this Finlits project. Okay, and then if I navigate through the folder, where's that folder? The folder is, ano ba yung ginamit ko kanina? What name? Where did that save it? Dali ah. It's here in desktop 000 trial here. It's in my desktop 00 trial. So let me find that. Desktop 000. Ba't hindi ko makita? Desktop. Ito, nasa ilalim. I-type, i-arrange ko. Okay, here, 00 trial. If I open this folder, notice now that this is the directory that I created. And inside this is the R project, this one. Okay, I hope this is clear. So I saved it inside this folder, 00 trial. And then I created this project Finlits. Okay, and inside that, this is my R project. Now, of course, I can rename this. Okay, now, so it's inside my 00 trial. I can now create another project, let's say Introduction to Financial Analytics. Okay. So I once again go to R here, and then File, New Project, I can use a existing directory or a new directory if I want a new folder out of it. Okay, and then intro to Finlits. Okay, so it will be, I can put it under 000 trial. Okay, or I can put it inside Finlits also. So it really depends on you. I'll just put it in the same folder as Finlits. Okay, and then open in a new session, and then create a project. So you can see now that I'll be creating a new project, and it's called Intro to Finlits. It can be seen here. So let's wait. Here, Intro to Finlits. Diba? And it's inside my 00 trial folder. So if I open that here, so I have a folder for Finlits, okay, which might be redundant for you. Okay, if you just want specifically the lessons, so I can delete this. Okay, so here I'm just opening Intro to Finlits, and inside this one is the R project. So when I create R files inside this R project, it will be saved here automatically. So let's do that now. Okay, I'm going to use this project Intro to Finlits, and notice that this was the project that I created a while ago, Finlits. I'm not going to use this. Okay, and I'm going to use this, the new project Intro to Finlits. There. Okay, let me pause for a while. I might be going too fast. Please chat, please, if you were able to follow, if you were able to create this project called Intro to Finlits. So it depends on where you save that. Okay, thank you. All right. Please feel free to ask any questions if you have any. Okay. So good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for your responses. All right. Now, if we're here now, okay. So you notice that it's my environment window that's showing, and not my console, or my not my script window or source window. I'll just click this. There, it's here. Okay, it's just hidden because the environment window is maximized. Now this is an R script file. Okay, in an R script, if I write a particular code, for example, 3 times 4 minus 5 raised to the 4 times exp to the 45, I'm just guessing, then divided by pi, let's see, pi, okay. So this is how you write codes in your, this is your R script, diba? R script to na file. Okay, if I run this either by clicking this run, Okay? So error, mali yung pi ko. Okay? Is it pi 1? Control enter. Mali pa rin. Okay? Ano nga ba yung pi na ano? Anyway, palitan ko na lang, no? Let's say tangent na lang. Tangent 45. Tangent of 45 degrees. Control enter. All right, so this is the value, no? Negative 1.34 times 10 to the 22. It means that you have plus 22 here means 22 decimal places to the right. Okay, so you move 22 decimal places to the right, and that's the number. And you notice in an R script, the answer is not written on the R script. Okay, it's written in the console. And dito yung answer. Okay, so that if let me click run here, run, and it will replicate the code, and then it will give the answer. Okay, so the disadvantage of using an R script is that you do not have the answer here. Okay, unlike an RMD file, which we're going to discuss now. Okay, so can I save this? Yes, you can save this. So let's say you have several codes here and you want to save it. So how do you save it? So let's just go to file, and then you can save as and give it a name. Let me just say script 1. Okay. Notice that it automatically defaults into the R project folder that you were using to run the code. Node class, no? It's under 000 trial under the project intro to Finlits. Automatic yun, no? So save. And then take a look what happened. You now have this one, script 1. That's a file that I use .r to indicate that this is a script file, R script file. Okay, and if I go to the directory, intro to Finlits, I can now see that this is the R project. This really manages everything in this folder. And this one is my script1.r file. So it's an R script. Okay, pause again and ask if everyone's able to follow. Are there any questions about an R script file? Clear ba so far? Kindly chat yes if clear, if you're able to follow along. Okay, good. Thank you. How you got, okay, my question dito. Thank you for that question. How I got the script 1. Okay, sige. Thank you, John, for your question. All right, let me go back here. Okay, that we wrote this code, no? And of course, you can write, let's say, plot, pick a plot, and there's a data that comes pre-packaged with our yung pressure data. If I run plot pressure, okay, Control Enter or click here run, press Control Enter. Okay, notice that the code was replicated here in the console, and the plot was generated here in my plots window, but not in my console, not in my source window. Okay, and another one, let's say summary. Another data that's preloaded with R is cars data. The summary function in R gives us the 6-number summary here. So there are 2 variables in that data, cars, speed and distance. So it automatically computed for the minimum value, first quartile, second quartile, the average, the third quartile, and the maximum value. Okay, so yun siya, no? And notice it's either, if it's a plot, it will be shown here in the plots window. If it's a number summary, okay, it will be shown here in my console. All right, so this is the file. This is an R script file. If I'm going to save this, once again, file, save as. I want to give it a new name, save as. and then let's say I'll call it script2. Now notice when you save as, automatically it will default to saving it in the project, in the R project that we created, which is the intro to Finleads. Okay, I'm going to give it a name, script2, and then save. And let's see. What happened was, if I click files, okay, there's a new instance of an R script file here, script2.r. So if you see script on a file that .r, it means it's an R script file. Okay, pag .r, R script yun. Okay, and then there are other types of R that you can, R file that you can use. No? Let's use the R markdown file. Okay, and by the way, class, this was discussed in 1.9. Okay, so please review that. So here, nakalagay, ang pwede natin i-generate dito isang document, isang presentation. Would you believe pwede kang mag-create ng presentation sa R? Okay, Shiny is for a website, and then from template, yung from template, it can generate different types of documents. For example, if I click this, so in my case, may mga templates ako dito, no? Yan. May mga templates ako dito. Parang nawala ng iba kasi when I nag-reinstall kasi ako no? Ng ano, marami akong mga templates dito, and then it got lost, no? So, you can actually add templates here. May two-step template, siguro i-discuss natin yan as we go along in passing. Okay, so I'll stick to this document, and then I can give it a title, for example, RMD1. I'll just call it RMD1, and then automatically yung name ng sa computer, no? And then this one, it's 57. Either I click this, okay. Notice na, pag click na to, use current date when rendering the document. Okay, notice that this is no longer edit. You can't edit this. Kasi, this will become now a variable. What do I mean by variable? When you're rendering the document, ang ibig sabihin ng rendering, you're printing it, no? When you're printing it, kung ano yung date, kung kailan mo siya ipiprint, yun yung magiging date nito. So it will follow the date of the printing and not the date you created this. But if I unclick this, so ang ilalagay na dito, kung kailan yung date na create ko tong document na to, which is now, no? 5/7/2024. So let me show you how. Okay, if I click this, click ko muna to, no? Click. Then notice, so this is now a new file, no? Hindi na siya yung script2 natin. Ito na siya. Ang title niya, RMD1. And notice, meron na siya mga, this is what you call your code chunks, no? This is what you call your code chunks. Okay? Code chunk. And in an RMD file, R markdown file, all codes are written in a code chunk. And you know it's a code chunk because number one, sa coloring, medyo grayed out siya. Pangalawa, you have here your backticks, okay, and then ending with another backtick. Okay? Anything inside here is your code. And then may labeling yung ano natin, yung code chunk natin. Curly brackets and then R, it means that this code chunk is R-based kasi pwedeng Python, no? Yung RStudio pwede siyang gamitin for Python. So lalagay mo dito Python, kung Python siya. And then you have here setup, and then include is equal to false. I'll discuss this in greater detail now. Okay. So let's save this first. May gusto lang ako ipakitang difference. Okay. Let's save this first. So file, save as again. Okay. I can save it as, pwedeng RMD1 na lang din ulit, RMD1. Okay, RMD1, and then save. And then what do you notice here? Nagkaroon dito ng file na rmd1.rmd. Okay, and you notice mas malaking memory ang kino-consume ng ng RMD file. Okay? Going back to my project file, project folder. Okay, andito siya, no? RMD1. Okay? So that, kunyari, nakasarado yung RStudio mo. Pag clinic mo to, o pag clinic mo tong R project na to, magbubukas si RStudio mo, tapos ang lalabas, ito, this one. Okay? Andyan lahat ng ginawa mo, andyan lahat ng mga files na na-save natin dun sa project. So this is very convenient, really. Okay. And let's now create another RMD file. RMD here. And then I'll just call it RMD2. Okay, RMD2. And then I'm going to use this. Papakita ko yung difference. I'm going to use this use current date when rendering a document. Let's stick to an HTML file muna. Kasi you can render whenever you print the document, you can use an HTML file, you can use a PDF file, or a Word file. Okay, let's just use the HTML file. Okay, so we will now have a new RMD file. Ito, no? Untitled pa siya, pero ang title ng document natin, RMD2. Ito untitled na to, this will be the title when you save the document. Ito. Okay, and take note of the date. Hindi yung date ngayon ang linagay. Unlike this one, RMD1, di ba? The absolute yung date eh. So that when you render this tomorrow or 2 weeks from now, ito pa rin yung date na lalabas. This one, when you render it 2 weeks from now, the date that will be printed here will be the date when you render the document. Okay? All right, so let's just quickly discuss what the RMD file is as distinguished from the script file. Ito yung script file, no? Malayo siya. Okay. So RMD file, this is called yung YAML. Ito. Yung unang part na to. Dash, 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 o underscore, underscore, underscore. Okay. Okay, dash nga, no? So iba yung underscore. Okay, the underscore is connected when you type it. Ito dash, dash, dash. Okay, so you have 3 dashes at the beginning and then 3 dashes below. Now, this is called your YAML, which others would call as an acronym for yet another markup language. Yet another markup language. Let me pause for a while. My question yata dito. Okay, so sorry, Miguel. May you explain again how do you generate RMD1 from RMD? Okay, sige. Let me repeat that. So, di ba meron tayong ano dito? We have this RMD file. Okay? And how did we generate this RMD1 na to? When you opened a new RMD file. Okay? Let me show this. Di ba nagtatanong ng title? So yung title ng ano natin ng document na to, okay? Sulat natin dito. Kunyari, I'll put trial 1 here. Just to distinguish it from RMD. Trial 1. Okay? So it will now create a document, an RMD document, ito, no? Called trial 1. Ito laman nun, yung default ng RMD. And then if I want to save this, of course, this will be automatically saved as an RMD. Okay, so I go to File, Save As, and then yung name, yung file name. Okay, ito nga sinabi ko, ang ginamit ko kanina, RMD. You can name it any way you want, no? So RMD3, gawin ko RMD3. And notice, it automatically saves in your R project folder. Save. Ayan, notice, yan, no? RMD3, okay, .rmd. Bakit .rmd? To indicate that this is an R markdown file. Okay, the title of this project itself, of this file itself is trial 1. Ito yung linagay ko kanina. Okay, okay, back to, did that answer your question, Migs? Okay, thank you, Migs. All right, so saving lang yun sa pag-save, no? So notice yung ang dami na natin na save, no? You have here RMD1, script 2, ito yung sila eh. Yung script 1 na save natin kanina, no? Okay, I think na-delete ko dito, pero na-save siya. Yun. Script 1, script 2, RMD1, RMD3. Notice, class, if I delete this, okay, nawala siya dito, no? Pero, ando doon pa rin siya. It's still here, si RMD1. If I click this, lalabas siya dito. So, very convenient talaga. Okay? Si untitled, wala pa dito. Why is it not here? Because we haven't saved this. Okay? We haven't saved this. If I delete this, it will ask me, are you going to save this? Suppose I say no. Don't save. Okay? So, wala siya dito. Okay? So, if I open a new one, new RMD, okay, so let me name it trial 1 again. Trial 1, okay. All right, so yung name yun, no? Trial 1. Pero hindi pa siya na-save dito. It has not yet been saved here. Pero, accidentally nagka-power outage. Ano yung computer natin, nawala ng power. When you open this later on, andyan dyan pa rin si untitled 1. Hindi nawala, hindi mawawala yan. Although hindi pa rin siya na officially na-save. Pero, it appears as a tab here in your project, ng financial Intro to Finleads project. Okay? So quickly, let's just discuss this, yung mga codes dito. Sabi nga natin, this is a YAML, no? Yet another markup language. And ano importance itong YAML na to? It controls how your text will look like. Okay? For example, you can put here table of contents. Okay, discussion lang natin later on. Pag nag-indicate ka dito lang TOC, table of contents, it means that when you render this, and I say when you print this, then it will automatically put the table of contents. For as long as sinet mo kung paano yung table of contents. Kasi paano ba yung table of contents? Okay, tingnan natin dito ha. Itong hashtag na to, okay, it's not just for it's not a useless symbol here. Yung dalawa na to, class, it's used for headings. No? Yung sa outlining yan. For example, I put here, tingnan nyo ha, it's used for outline. Dalawang hashtag, andi dito siya, si R Markdown. Tapos ito, including plots, if I click this, yan, ando dun siya. Including plots, dalawa rin. So magkahanay sila. If I put here, for example, one hashtag, and then YAML, what do you notice? You notice that YAML, may line siya doon, no? Okay? May line siya. Tapos under ni YAML is two hashtags. So si two hashtags na are markdown, under siya. Just like 1, tapos Roman numeral number 1, tapos A. Ba? Tapos I can put here another 2, say R mark 2. What happened? Ayan. So under siya ni YAML. Okay? If I put, for example, a 3 here, 3. So si 3, it will be under R mark 2. But of course, both of them are under YAML dito, no? Okay, and then just put another word here. Notice how trial is placed here. It's under R mark 2. Okay, and if I put here another one here, another one. Again, any word lang, no? Trial 2. Notice, tingnan nyo. So si YAML, yan yung una natin. Si trial 2 yung pangalawa. Pareho silang tigwa 1 hashtag. So it's very easy to create an outline in an R Markdown file. Okay, YAML stands for yet another markup language. No? So let me write that. Ito yung sinasabi nilang official, although I'm not sure, no? Yet another, but this is what I see. Markup language. I'm not sure if the creators were just joking about it. Pero kasi mukhang tama naman eh. Yet another markup language. And what's YAML for? This is YAML, di ba? Ito yung YAML natin. And ganyan lang kasimple yan, pero you will see some R markdowns with complicated YAMLs. Naglalagay tayo sa YAML ng mga, let's just take a look at an example. Sorry, wala akong nalagay dito, no? Mag-Google tayo, ha? Okay. Sample YAML in R markdown file. Natin. Yan. So may mga courses na ganyan, ano? Lesson 4, YAML headers. Let's see. All right. So, ginagamit to class for rendering. For example, ito yung YAML header natin, no? Title is example, author is this person, date is this one, and then HTML document. When you print this, ito mag-a-appear. Ito yung example, yung title, and then si author, naka-ital siya, and then yung date. So that's the purpose of YAML. Now, of course, you can make use of others. No? Ito, tingnan nyo to. So dito, ang output, meron tayong HTML document, meron tayong TOC, table of contents, true, and the number of sections, true. Okay, so apparently in this RMD file, merong merong hashtag number 1, no? Number 1 RMD. Hashtag number 2, okay? Dalawa pa rin, dalawa, so including plots. And when you render it, makikita nyo na, okay, ilalabas na yung table of contents. And there are other types of table of contents. Merong floating, yan, ito. Yung floating nasa side, tingnan nyo to. No? Okay, TOC float, true. So this might give you an idea later on when you submit your work. Kasi ito maganda kasi makikita mo siya na para naka-separate siya. And if you click to this or to this one, it will navigate you to the rendered file dun sa portion na yun. Okay, so may mga themes din dito. Okay. Yan. So, ito class, no? Ito yung sinasabi ko na hindi lang basta YAML yan. Okay, may theme na Cerulean. So there are different types of themes. So this is how you control the output, how it will be rendered. Okay, may folding then, no? Okay, etc. So I will not at this time. I will let you review. I will let you research on your own kung ano yung pwedeng gawin sa output, how to make it beautiful, how to make it presentable, how to make it clean. Okay. So let me just chat this in case you want to refer to this. Yung source na yan. Okay, so I chatted it there. All right, so let's go back to our discussion here. Okay, so I already mentioned to you, this is your YAML. You can change this, you can modify this so that when you render it, iba yung kakalabasan. Okay, now let's go here to the code chunk. So sa code chunk, sabi natin, we know that this is a code chunk kasi may tatlong backticks, you have these brackets, curly brackets, and then R. And then you have this close one. Pwede kasing nakatanggal yan, no? Pwedeng ganito lang. Yan. This is a code chunk, no? Okay? Now, balik natin. All right. This one will give it a name. Kung ano yung name ng code chunk na to. And this one is an additional function, additional command that is used for printing. Papakita ko sa inyo, ha. Okay. Ano ba yung mga code chunks natin dito? Ito pa. Cars, no? So it was given a name ng code chunk na to, cars. Tapos ito naman, ang name ng code chunk na to, pressure. Now, why is it important to give meaningful names to your code chunks? It's important because, especially when now your RMD file has thousands of code chunks, ang hirap na mahanap kung ano yung code chunk mo. But good thing here is that naka-index dito yan. Okay? Andito sa ilalim, makita niyo yung green na to. So if I click this, you can now see the different outlines and the code chunks. So the outlines, aside from appearing here, it also appears here. Okay? So ito yung name ng document, trial 1. Chunk number 1, ang pangalan niya setup. Chunk number 2, ang pangalan niya cars. Chunk number 3, ang pangalan niya pressure. Si chunk number 1, okay, it's not part of the main outline. Tingnan nyo. Ito yung title ng document, tapos chunk 1 kagad. Why is that so? Kasi, okay, yung unang hashtag natin, dito nag-appear. So if I reposition this, Control X, tapos dito ko siya ilagay sa taas ng code chunk number 1, Control D. Yeah, notice now that in our index here, andyan muna si YAML, tapos sa ilalim nun si chunk 1. So nasa positioning yan, no, ng mga outlines natin. After chunk 1, you have itong dalawang hashtag, si rmarkdown at saka si rmark2. Ito sila. Then under rmark2 is tatlong hashtag. So ilalim niyan ilalim ni rmark2 yan. It's under rmark2. Okay, so let me pause for a while. Any questions for a while? For now? Are we clear? So kindly feedback, please, if our discussion is clear so far. I might be going too fast. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So the soonest you're able to navigate through our markdown, the better it is. Kasi ang focus natin will be the codes. So medyo mag-practice na kayo. Ang suggestion ko, to practice modifying this a bit, no? Kunyari, paano maglalagay ng table of contents? Paano babaguhin yung theme? Okay? All right? So a lot of things that you can do here. And it's very fun, no? When I was learning this several decades ago, tagal na kasi. At that time, hindi pa masyadong hindi naman dekada, no? Kasi yung R Markdown, yung R Studio medyo relatively new lang yan. So when I was learning this one, I had lots of fun kasi maraming things na pwedeng gamitin dito no? You can research more on how to beautify your document by changing the YAML. Okay, so here, what do we have here now? So ito na yung label, yung ano natin, di ba? Ito na yung name ng code chunk. The importance of that is it makes it easier for us to navigate through the different code chunks and look for a particular code chunk that we're interested in. Okay, so here you can see that you have the name pressure and then may echo is equal to false dito. And then ito yung code chunk natin. So how do you run a code chunk? Okay, you can either click this one, run current chunk, or click this one. Okay, dito, if you click this, merong iba-iba, no? When you're in a particular code chunk and you say run current chunk, yan ang irarun niya. Or run the next chunk, pwede rin. Or run the setup chunk, kasi yung setup chunk yung nasa taas. Okay? Or run all chunks below. Or run all chunks above. So you have here several choices. Or run all, pwede rin. In our case, ang gusto lang natin itong current na to, no? So I'll go here, run, and then run current chunk. Or that's Control Shift Enter. Okay. So notice the difference between the R script and the R Markdown file. Si R Markdown file, andi dito yung the output, the plot can be found here. Okay. Sa R script, hindi. Okay. Notice hindi. Diba? Wala. And you notice, pag R script tayo, walang rendering to. Pag RMD, okay, may knitting or rendering. We can do that. Okay, so we're working with this one. Okay, so let's run the other code chunks. Ito. i-run natin to, hindi pa natin nara-run to. Run this one. Notice my include is equal to false dito. And then dito, ito naman si summary cars, run natin. Okay. Alright, suppose this is done. Okay, okay na tong file natin na to, no? So, anong gagawin natin? Save natin. Maganda i-save. File, save as. Okay, ano ba? RMD. RMD. Bahala na kayo kung ano yung trial lang naman to eh. RMD5. May RMD3 na. Save RMD5. Okay, notice may pangalan na yung file natin and it's now here. RMD5. So all those are our markdowns and our script that we have done. Pag sinave natin class, andi dito yun. Pag hindi natin na-save, untitled pa rin yun. No? Pero, pag close natin, tatanungin tayo, gusto nyo ba i-save yung untitled na yan? You will be asked. No? Pero pag accidentally nag-close, no? Pag inopen natin, ando dun pa yun siya. Okay. So this one, if I want to render it or knit it, knitting, I go here, click this one, and then either knit to HTML, knit to PDF, knit to Word. Okay, so for now, I'll just knit it to HTML. So what will happen is that if I click this, makikita nyo rendering dito. And then tatanungin tayo kung anong document, anong name ang bibigay natin sa rendered file na yan. So knit to HTML. Okay, you can see now that it's rendering here. Nagpa-process siya. Okay, ayan. Tapos na, no? And we can see here in the viewer, the output. Okay, di ba yung output na to? Ito. No? Ito yung title ng document natin. My name, and then, no? Tapos ito yung ano, ito yung mga linagay natin dyan. Alright. And then, okay, let's take a look at our files. And what do you notice now? Meron tayo ditong ano, HTML file, no? RMD5. Yan, HTML file. If I go to our folder here, RMD file, when we rendered it, RMD5, okay, automatically nag-resave siya, di ba? Ito, RMD5. And it's an RMD file together with your HTML file. If I click this, mag-open yan sa browser natin. Okay, ito. Sa yung browser natin. Where's my browser? Okay. Sandali, ulitin ko ha. Click ko siya. Okay. Dapat nag-open yan sa akin. Kindly check sa inyo, class. Ito na pala, sorry. Staring in front of me. Ito yun, no? Ito. This is now the HTML file, RMD5. Okay, so you can share this with others para makita nila yung output, no? Since nasa internet siya, you can share this to everyone. Okay, take a look at this. This is our YAML, di ba? Ito yung first hashtag natin. Two hashtags, and then 3 hashtags yata to. Okay, so take note. Asan dito yung code chunk na setup? Di ba may code tayo na setup? Ito. Not that one. This is our setup code. Pero nakalagay kasi include is equal to false. So which means that it will run it, but it will not show the output and it will not show the code itself. Di ba? Itong code na to, wala dun sa HTML output. Di ba? You know? Pero yung pangalawa, yung code chunk natin na summary, dito siya. Andito yung code, tapos andito yung output. Right? And then, yung isa naman, yung isang, the other code chunk, which we named pressure, it's this one. Pressure is the name, right? And then there's a function to it, echo is equal to false. This means that this will be run and the output will be generated, this one. Okay. However, the code will not be shown. Okay. Take a look at this. Echo is equal to false parameter was added to the code chunk to prevent printing of the R code that generated the plot. So the plot, the result of the code, will be printed on the viewer. Okay, my question dito. Kindly share your question to everyone, please. Louis, paki-share yung question to everyone. Okay. Pa-repeat on how the code will display on the viewer tab. Okay, automatic yan, no? When you render a document, okay, let me go here. This is an RMD3 file. This will automatically render, di ba? This will automatically, pwede natin i-render to. Here, knit. Okay, tapos, knit to HTML. Notice, it will, yan, nag-ano siya, no? Nagpa-process. Okay, and then automatic, no? Pagka-process niya dito sa source code, automatic, nag-viewer kagad siya. I didn't do anything. Nag-render lang ako, and then, nag-run siya dito sa console. Yan, nagre-render siya. Tapos automatic, pinasok siya, pinakita siya sa viewer. Okay, so those are automatic steps. Okay, did that answer your question, Louis? Hello, Louis? Okay, good. Okay, any other questions? Keep those questions coming, please. No? Keep those questions coming. No question. All right. Now, you can actually create another type of document. You have Quarto document. May question pa yata. Is there a way to change the font colors? For what, Migs? Colors for the output? Oh, man, of course, pwede. Pwede yan, no? You can change the colors, you can change the font, you can change the size. Okay, let me show you some of the quickest way to do that. Because here, you can we open our script. We opened our markdown. Okay, I leave you to study what's an R notebook, no? This is a lot better also than an R script. Pero meron tayo dito, Quarto document and Quarto presentation. Actually, when you're creating your code in R, you can create a PowerPoint presentation here. Pwede kayo mag-PowerPoint presentation. Okay, you can do that here. So, I'll go here. Okay, so I'll just, I created a while ago with the other section, ito, no? Pakita ko lang sa inyo. Ito yung create. Okay, so let me go to that. Desktop. So, pareho lang, no? Nag-create lang ako dun ng Finlich Master, and then I created this Introduction to Financial Analytics. All right. So this one, okay, pakita ko lang to course outline files. Okay, library. Okay. Notice may mga ano dito, may clipboard. Okay. Etc. No? May HTML. Okay, so what are those? Paano na-create yan? May Reveal.js. So this is for the PowerPoint. Okay. Bakit may ganito? No? Saan ang galing yan? So, we created this Intro to Financial Analytics. Actually, ako lang, no? I just demonstrated it to them. Kasi in the interest of time, pinakita ko na lang. So, ito yung document, no? Our course outline. So, let me flash this. Ito yung HTML. Now, take note, this is a QMD file. So, it's not an RMD file. It's a QMD file. Is it better? Yes, it's better than an RMD file. Okay, ito yun. No? Okay, so ito ba yun? Yeah. Here, ito siya. Yung QMD. So how was this generated? How was this generated? This was generated by ito. Quarto. In fact, here I chose Quarto presentation. If I click this, yan. Alright, you'll be asked, ano bang gusto mo? Presentation Reveal.js, okay? Beamer or PowerPoint. For now, mas magandang gamitin yung Reveal.js. Okay, so when you're creating presentations, in fact, I'm thinking of in your one of your outputs, kailangan may ipapakita kayong presentation. Kasi pag nag-create naman kayo ng QMD file, automatic na yan, no? You can choose you choose Reveal.js na lang instead of PowerPoint. Okay? All right. So ito na yung create ko kanina, no? So i-cancel ko lang to. Or you can create ito naman a Quarto document here. All right. So let me show you. So anong difference ng RMD sa QMD? Magkakreate ako ng RMD dito. RMD. So this is what I've been showing you. Tawagin kong RMD1 to. Okay. So this is an RMD1. On the other hand, this is a QMD1. Anong difference sila? Ang difference sila is in the facility of creating a document where you can put objects, tables, images. Sa RMD file kasi, pwedeng gawin yan. Kaso i-code mo yung picture, for example. Mas mahirap. How do you insert a picture here? Okay? Sa QMD, madali. Ito, tingnan nyo yung interface ng QMD. Notice here, meron kang source. Ito yung source. Meron ka ring visual. Ito yung visual. Okay? So sa visual, ito yung default, no? What do you have here? Merong insert. So what can you insert? You can now insert a YAML block, you can insert an executive cell, a table, figures, etc. So ang daming pwedeng gawin na sa insert sa isang QMD. You can now insert a LaTeX math, inline or display. So this is a lot of improvement from the limited na RMD file. Sa RMD file, wala kang mga insert dyan, di ba? Wala. Sa QMD file, pwede na. There. And you can toggle between the source code, ito yung source code na parang RMD lang, okay, and the visual code. Yan. Iba yung visual code. You can see how it appears when you render it. So, as part of your journey in learning R, I would that you learn so parang magle-level up na tayo, hindi lang tayo RMD5, no? But in our discussion here, since ang focus natin will be yung coding mismo, oftentimes mag-RMD file tayo. Pero when you generate your output, i-QMD nyo, no? I-QMD file nyo. Okay, so I'm going to show you our output a while ago. Okay? So this looks like a presentation kasi itong ginamit ko, no? Okay. Tingnan nyo yung yung how it's written. All right. So I'll take this opportunity now to discuss what our subject is all about. So I'm using this QMD file. So what's financial analytics? Ito yung topic natin eh. So financial analytics talk about using financial data and exposing it to statistical models and analytical tools. Okay? Para saan? To generate insights. Kasi pag data in itself, walang you cannot generate an insight out of that kung data lang. You have one column of PCE prices, one column of Singapore Times Index prices. So data in itself will not generate information. So we have to do something about it. We have to work on the data, analyze it, okay, put it to some statistical models and analytical tools in order for us to be able to come up with informed business decisions. Ito yung importante, di ba? Financial analytics is used by companies so that meron silang, they can generate data-driven decision making. Yun ang importante. No? Making use of quantitative methods so that it can help them with their decision making. So it's not just for the sake of turning an output using statistical models. Hindi ganun. kailangan may utility yun. Ang utility yun is for the company to be able to generate yun, decision-making, data-driven decision-making. Yun ang importante, no? It's a subset of BI, business intelligence. Okay? And as you know, finance is very important sa lahat ng functions, whether it's marketing, may effect ang finance doon. HR, may effect ang finance. Whatever. Marketing, HR, operations, laging yung tentacles ng finance will always be there. Okay? So it involves using huge amount of data, relevant data, to make predictions. Ginagamit siya in understanding more your customers. Ginagamit siya in coming up with decisions about, let's say, financial strategies or other strategies, operational, marketing strategies. Again, ito importante, informed decisions. Okay? Informed decisions. What's good about this is you cannot do this in R Markdown. Highlight this and then make it bold. Walang ganyan sa R Markdown. So it makes text, it makes the creating a report with yung formatting a lot easier. Okay, saan ginagamit yung financial analytics? Okay, so I'll just browse through this. I'm going to give you a copy of this. Okay, of course, risk management, alam natin yan, sa finance tayo, no? Ginagamit yan. We know that a company may be exposed to several types of risk, operational risk, financial risk, credit risk, leverage risk, etc. So many risks to think about, and financial analytics helps in identifying this risk and mitigating against it. Investment decisions sa portfolio management, saan natin ilalagay yung pera? Okay, what assets are good at this time? Okay, can we use what we call algorithmic trading in order to come up with trading strategies that is algorithmic in nature? It means that gumagamit tayo ng computers para ang computers mismo ang magte-trade, no? For us. Also for performance analysis, how well is the company, whether it's Trainor, it's Sharpe ratio, it's Sortino ratio, the measurement of risk and return, lahat yan importante. And you can use financial analytics for that. Valuation, may mga subject kayong valuation, di ba? How to value your assets, whether it's based on some methodology as far as valuing asset is concerned. We can make use of financial analytics. And of course, ensuring that financial practices meet legal standards for regulatory compliance. All right, so these are specific examples of usages. Okay, so take note of this. Ito, may di ba? Meron ako ditong yung image. Okay, I just got this from the internet. Okay? So paano yun? Very easy sa QMD. Okay, so I just go here, insert. Okay, figure or image. Okay, let me illustrate this. So the figure or image can be stored in your computer, or pwede nating hanapin yan sa kunyari, lagay ko dito, financial analytics. Financial analytics. I'll just get an image, financial analytics, and then image. Gamit lang ako ng isang image dito. Kunyari, ito na lang, no? And then I'm going to copy image address here. And then I'm going back to my RMD file, go here, and then this one, let's say image finance, caption financial analytics. Okay. And then, okay. Right? So, medyo lock ratio lang niya. Medyo, siguro sa image yun, I'm sure pwedeng kunyari, width, gawin natin 500. Okay, enter. Yan. You can change the width and the height. Height gawin natin 400. Okay. Pwede pang sa natin to 1,000. Okay? Anyway, pumangit nga lang resolution, Kasi yung napili nating image hindi maganda. Okay, ganun din dito, So sorry about that, but the point here was about credit scoring. And you know, from your credit management, di ba? Ang ginagawa ng mga companies, they have a credit scoring system where given the attributes of a particular borrower, pwedeng individual or pwedeng company, gagawa sila ng scorecard and come up with a decision whether to provide yan, credit decision. Okay, you can use AI and advanced analytics for credit decision to approve or deny the loan. Yan, example yan ng application ng financial analytics. Ito, importante ito. Fraud detection sa dami-daming scammers ngayon. No? Okay, sa dami-daming scammers ngayon, talagang on their toes lagi yung mga financial institutions para sa mga banks, di ba? There was a time na ang daming na sa scam. Okay, whether it's BDO or BPI, ako ang daming example niyan. So this is very important. Financial analytics is at the forefront of fraud detection. Napaka-importante ng role ng financial analytics. Okay. So aside from that, portfolio management, I mentioned this already. No? So financial analytics can be used in portfolio management para to determine the optimal fund allocation. Okay? In order for capital appreciation, yung placement ba ng amount sa mga assets, does it generate capital appreciation or to minimize risk? Okay? So these are the things that are to be considered as regards portfolio management in the light of financial analytics. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, algorithmic trading, otherwise known as automated trading or black box trading or algo trading. Ito, gumagamit tayo ng computers para hindi na human intervention to place a trade. Yan, no? Okay? So very quick. For example, it can be a minute-by-minute trading kasi. No? So mahirap gawin ng tao yan. So algorithmic trading allows us to come up with trading strategies that are practically impossible for a human to do. Okay, kunyari, isang simple na trade criteria. Si company would want that yung mga moving average, di ba? We're going to discuss that when we go to TTR, technical trading rules. I'm sure you have discussed this in your other subjects, yung either is 50-day moving average or a 200-day moving average. Ang isang rule na ginagamit, when the 50-day moving average goes above the 200-day moving average, yan, by decision. On the other hand, if the 50-day goes below the 200-day, then sell yan. Okay? So a company can have a computer program that will automatically monitor the stock price and the moving average and place the buy and sell orders, okay, when the conditions are met. So no need for human intervention, no? Okay, and also this concept of sa marketing, yung customer lifetime values na gumagamit din ng financial analytics. Alright? Ano yung tools na ginagamit? Sa statistical software, we have R, Python, MATLAB, and SAS. Data visualization, kailangan din natin yan. So it's also important to, if you have the opportunity to learn Tableau or Power BI, ito Excel, no? To create dynamic visual representations of our data. Meron tayong, sa last portion, i-discuss natin yan. Okay, and it's almost time, but may I have your permission, class? Just 2 minutes, tapusin ko lang to. Permission, please. But if you need to go, you may do so. Tapusin ko lang tong ano na to, yung portion na to. So, paano ka maging financial, magda-double into to become professional financial analytic, no? Educational background, you should have a strong quantitative skill, technical proficiency, and analytical skills. All right, lastly, okay, punta na tayo sa course outline natin. So what are we expected to learn here? So meron tayong six modules dito. First, introduction to financial analytics and R, which we are doing now. So next meeting, ang gagawin natin, kindly make sure that you have Quant Mode, TTR, TidyQuant, these packages. Kindly make sure to install this. I'm going to chat natin para please learn how to install packages. No? Install that packages lang yun. Okay, so part 2 will be data management and manipulation in R. Okay, so first, ito dinidiscuss natin So what we're going to do next meeting is learn the functionalities of this one. Examples tayo. Tapos data management, gagamitin natin dito si dplyr, how to manipulate data. Okay? And then module 3 will be time series, both univariate and multivariate. Module 4 is quantitative financial analytics, analysis, you have portfolio management, example ng algo trading. No? And module number 5 will be modeling and simulation. Gagamit tayo dito ng Monte Carlo. And last one is module number 6, machine learning. Right? So, bali 5 very important topics in our course. Yung outline na yon, I'm going to post it sa Canvas natin for your reference. All right. So with that, stop share. Okay, with that, thank you so much for your patience and I hope you learned something today. May natutunan ba? Paki-feedback na lang, please. Did you learn something this afternoon? I hope meron naman. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's get excited to learn more things this coming Friday. Okay, so thank you so much. I'll see you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Take care, everyone. Take care.
Hello, sir.
Oh, yes.
Will you post the recording po for this session?
Yeah, na-record ko. Tapos
Okay,
ipopost
thank
ko.
you po.
Ipopost ko siya. Oh. Sige.
Thank you po.
All right, thank you.